What's up, guys? Name's Dan Hardiman. Born and raised in San Diego, 23 years old. Went to high school in San Diego, actually. So I went to Del Norte High School, and then in college, I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Just wanted to share my testimony and my walk with God throughout my life. Born in you can call it a Christian home. Definitely went to Sunday school as a kid. And then my parents kind of, just out of circumstances, us moving from Mira Mesa to where we live now, stopped going to church. I was still involved in church because I didn't wanna, but I was very lukewarm and kind of not heavily involved, nothing, no like both feet in kind of thing. It was just, church was there growing up. It wasn't until I got to high school when I started playing high school football, one of my football coaches started a youth group or a small group within our football team that really kind of dove into my faith and kind of had bigger questions asked, bigger topics discussed as the pressures of high school and middle school kind of came about. And so with that, got a little more involved, still was kind of lukewarm. But my biggest story was probably going from high school to college. My senior year of high school, I was probably the strongest in my faith, really heavily involved in my Awana program, really involved in like youth groups and like clubs on campus at Del Norte, like FCA, leadership, all that kind of stuff. Having this confidence, thinking that it was this all good feeling, going to a school to play rugby, and feeling confident about going into college. Definitely college hit me really hard, especially my freshman year. Did not mentally prepare myself for the workload and the distractions that come with college, and definitely kind of fell off the tracks there. That kind of happened throughout my freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. And while I was in college at Cal Poly, I played rugby there. And as much as that sport was definitely awesome and super fun and have a lot of great memories, it definitely pulled me off my walk with God. Specifically, was going to parties, doing things I shouldn't be doing, definitely kind of living that college athlete life, and definitely was struggling. And at the same time, I was still trying to act like a Christian. I was still trying to say that, I believe in God, I'm a Christian, I do these good things. Yet half of my life was the whole other direction. It was until one of my teammates on my team, who is still one of my good friends today, me and him were both freshmen coming into Cal Poly. We both were in the same grade, competing for the same spot. So people that understand sports, think of it like the starting quarterback position. That's what me and him played. We were both competing for that same starting job all throughout all 4 years. And for most people in that situation, you wouldn't think those two kind of guys would be friends, because they're constantly competing with each other. They're always trying to like best one another without like showing that. But he was also a Christian, and he was the one who started our small group within our rugby team. And I remember one practice my junior year, something happened, but I kind of lashed out into something, and Chris, his name, he pulled me to the side and told me like, "Yo, Dan, like I thought you said you're a Christian. I thought you believed in these such things, but that was totally opposite of what you were saying you are." And that kind of really hit home, like having someone that's not just a friend, but someone that can hold you accountable in a position that you wouldn't think they would be willing to hold you accountable for something like that. And I think from that point on, it kind of made me look back and was like, okay, if I'm saying these things about myself, but acting a completely different way, yeah, it might look good for one group and might look good for another group, but God's looking at it like, dude, you're living for the law, not for me, not for like the grace that was given to us freely. So that really took a hard turn. And now the crazy thing is like he's one of my best friends. I reach out to him all the time. Going from college to now, after I graduated, I kind of went into what the society and my parents and culture told me to go to. I became a banker for a year and a half after I graduated. Took me a whole year and a half to realize that's not where God wants me to be. And during that time, I kind of fell off the wagon again. Wasn't as crazy, I would say, during college, but definitely, not in my faith, not diving into my word. It wasn't until I met someone through my gym that I was working out at that she kind of pulled me aside and invited me to church. long story short, she introduced me to Horizon. And from that point on, I think my life changed for the better. I think my biggest testimony in my life was God made me go through so many things in my life to teach me a lesson. And for me, it took me 23 years to take a step back and look back and like, wow, that's why he made me go through all those troubles. That's why he made me go all through that pain, is for me to get to a point where he literally gifted me a church to be called home. He literally gifted me friends. He literally gifted me a family. He literally gifted me a job that I truly am passionate about, willing to go to work every day, to a job that is not necessarily about the money, but the opportunity to impact people in a positive way. He gave me a youth group to be involved in. He gave me so many awesome things when I took a step back and I was like, God, that was really cool. Thank you, and I want to give my life to you. I mean, from that, I got baptized this past summer at Hume for the first time. I was 22, and for most people, it was like, oh, 22 is really late. I'm like, well, I think, again, looking back at it, I wouldn't have it any other way. One of my best friends baptized me in front of people that like I truly pour my passion, my heart for. Really meant a lot, and I mean, looking back at it now, it's like I couldn't have painted it any better. So my biggest lessons from, at least from where my life is now and my past, is fellowship is super important. I feel like having friends that can hold you accountable, not only for the good things you do, but definitely for when you screw up and you mess up, is super important. Having a church to call home. I think, when you commit to something wholeheartedly, the benefits will come back to you. And then finally from there, I just, I think people need to understand you're gonna go through some difficult times in your life, but I mean, a trial is just a test of faith. And whether you take that as like, oh no, woe is me, or like, hey, I'm gonna learn from this, grow from this, trials happen because they'll grow our faith and we become stronger from it. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for letting me share. I did not like speaking in front of a camera, but still did it. And yeah.